Sairam Shri Sairam Jai Jai Sairam. Chapter 18 and 19 Part 1. In this chapter we'll see about how Hemant Pant was accepted and blessed, stories of Mr. Sathe. In the last two chapters, Hemant Pant describes how a rich gentleman aspiring for quick Brahmanyan was treated by Baba, and now in these two chapters he describes how Hemant Pant himself was accepted and blessed by Baba, how Baba encouraged good thoughts and fructified them, and his teachings regarding self-improvement, slander and remuneration for labor. Preliminary. It is a well-known fact that the Sadguru looks first to the qualification of his disciples and then gives them suitable instructions without unsettling their minds in the least, and leads them on towards the goal of self-realization. In this respect, some say that what the Sadguru teaches or instructs should not be divulged to others. They think that their instructions become useless if they are published. This view is not correct. The Sadguru is like a monsoon cloud. He pours down profusely, that he scatters widely his nectar-like teachings. These we should enjoy and assimilate to our heart's content, and then serve others with them without any reservation. This rule should apply not only to what he teaches in our waking state, but to the visions he gives us in our dreams. To quote an instant, Buddha Kaushik Rishi published his celebrated Ram Raksha Stotra, which he had seen in his dream. Like a loving mother forcing bitter but beneficial medicines down the throats of her children for the sake of their health, Sai Baba imparted spiritual instructions to his devotees. His method was not veiled or secret but quite open. The devotees who followed his instructions got their object. Sadgurus like Sai Baba open our intellect and show us the divine beauty of the self and fulfill our tender longings of devotion. When this is done, our desire for sense object vanishes. Twin fruits of Vivek and Vairagya come to our hands, and knowledge sprouts up even in the sleep. All this we get when we come in contact with saints, serve them and secure their love. The Lord, who fulfills the desires of his devotees, comes to our aid, removes our troubles and sufferings, and makes us happy. This progress or development is entirely due to the help of the Sadguru, who is regarded as the Lord himself. Therefore, we should always be after the Sadguru, hear his stories, fall at his feet and serve him. Now we come to our main story. Mr. Sathe. There was a gentleman named Mr. Sathe who had attained some publicity many years ago during Crawford regime, which was put down by Lord Ray, the governor of Mumbai. He suffered severe losses in trade. Other adverse circumstances gave him much trouble and made him sad and dejected. Being restless, he thought of leaving home and going out to a distant place. Man does not generally think of God, but when difficulties and calamities overtake him, he turns to him and prays for relief. If his demerits have come to an end, God arranges his meeting with a saint who gives him proper directions regarding his welfare. Mr. Sathe has similar experience. His friends advised him to go to Shirdi, where so many people were flocking to get Sai Baba's darshan for getting peace of mind and the satisfaction of their wants. He liked the idea and at once came to Shirdi in 1917. Seeing Baba's form, which was like eternal Brahma, self-luminous, peerless and pure, his mind lost its restlessness and became calm and composed. He thought that it was the accumulation of merits in his former births that brought him to the holy feet of Baba. He was a man of strong will. He at once started to make a Parayan of Guru Charitra. When the reading was finished in the Saptah, that is 7 days, Baba gave him a vision that night. It was to this effect: Baba, with Guru Charitra in his hand, was explaining its contents to Mr. Sathe, who was sitting in front and listening carefully. When he woke up, he remembered the dream and felt very happy. He thought that it was extremely kind of Baba, who awakens soul like this that are snoring in ignorance and makes them taste the nectar of Guru Charitra. Next day he informed Kaka Sahib Dikshit of his vision and requested him to consult Sai Baba regarding its meaning or significance, whether one sapta reading was sufficient or whether he should begin again. Kakasaheb Dikshit, when got a suitable opportunity, asked Baba Deva, what did you suggest to Mr. Sathe by this vision? Whether he should stop or continue the Saptam. He is a simple devotee, his desire should be fulfilled. Then Baba replied, he should make one more sapta of the book. If the work he studied carefully, the devotee will become pure and will be benefited. The Lord will be pleased and will rescue him from the bondage of the mundane existence. At this time, Hemant Pant was present there. He was shampooing Baba's legs. When he heard Baba's word, he thought in his mind, what Mr. Sathe read for a week only and got a reward, and I am reading it for 40 years with no result. His 7-day stay here becomes fruitful, while my 7-year stay, that is from 1910 to 1917, goes for nothing. Like a chatak bird, I am ever waiting for the merciful cloud to pour its nectar on me and bless me with his instruction. No sooner did this thought cross his mind, Baba knew it then and there. It was the experience of the Bhaktas that Baba understood all their thoughts and that he suppressed the evil thoughts and encouraged the good ones. Reading Hemant Pant's mind, Baba at once asked him to get up, go to Shama, get from him rupees 15 as dakshina, sit and chit-chat with him for a while and then return. Mercy dawned in Baba's mind, and so he issued this order. And who could disobey Baba's order? Hemant Pant immediately left the masjid and came to Shama's house. He had just bathed and was wearing a dhota. He came out and asked Hemant Pant, how is it that you are here now? It seems that you have come from the masjid. Why do you look restless and dejected? Why are you alone? Please sit and rest while I shall do my worship and return. In the meanwhile, you please take pan, bida leaves and betel nut, etc. Let us then have a pleasant chat. After saying this, he went inside and Hemant Pant sat alone in the veranda. He saw in the window a well-known Marathi book named Nath Bhagat. This is a commentary by the Saint Eknath on the 11th skandha of the bigger Sanskrit work, the Bhagavat. At the suggestion of recommendation of Sai Baba, Mrs. Babu Saheb Jog and Kakasaheb Dikshit read Bhagavad Gita daily, with its Marathi commentary named Bhavartha Deepika or Dhyaneshwari and Nath Bhagat, and also Eknath's other big work, namely Bhavartha Ramayana. When devotees came to Baba and asked him certain questions, he sometimes answered them in part and asked them to go and listen to the readings of the above mentioned works, which was the main thesis of Bhagavad Dharma. When the devotees went and listened, they got full and satisfactory replies to their questions. Hemant Pant also used to read daily some portions of the Nath Bhagat. The day did not complete the daily portion of his reading, but had left it unfinished in order to accompany certain devotees who were going to the masjid. When he took up the book from Shama's window and casually opened it, he found to his purpose that the unfinished portion opened up. He thought that Baba sent him very kindly to Shama's house for enabling him to complete his daily reading. So he went through the unfinished portion and completed it. As soon as this was over, Shama, after doing his worship, came out and the following conversation took place between them. Hemant Pant: I have come with a message from Baba. He has asked me to return with rupees 15 as dakshina from you, also to sit with you for a while and have a pleasant chit chat and then return to the masjid with you. Shama said, I have no money to give. Take my 15 namaskars in lieu of rupees as dakshina to Baba. Hemant Pant said, alright, your namaskars are accepted. Now let us have some chit chat. Tell me some stories and leelas of Baba which will destroy our sins. Shama told, then sit here for a while. Wonderful is the sport of this god, that is Baba. You know it's already. I am a village rustic while you are an enlightened citizen. You have seen some more leelas since your coming over here. How should I describe them before you? Well, take these leaves, betel nut and tuna, and have the pan bida while I go in, dress myself and come out. In a few minutes, Shama came out and sat talking with Hemant Pant. He said, the Leela of this god is inscrutable. There is no end of his Leelas. Who can see them? He plays a sports with his Leelas. Still, he is beyond them. What do we rustics know? Why does not Baba himself tell stories? Why does he send learned men like you to fools like me? His ways are inconceivable. I can only say that they are not human. With this preface, Shama added, I now remember a story which I shall relate to you. I know it personally. As a devotee is resolute and determined, so is Baba's intermediate response. Sometimes Baba puts the devotees to severe test and then gives him Upadesh. As soon as Hemant Pant heard the word Upadesh, as if a flash of lightning passed through his mind, he at once remembered the story of Mr. Sate's Guru Charitra reading and thought that Baba might have sent him to Shama in order to give peace to his restless mind. However, he curbed this feeling and began to listen to Shama's stories. They all showed how kind and affectionate Baba was to his devotees. Hemant Pant began to feel joy on hearing of this. Then Shama began to tell the other stories. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all. We'll continue the next chapter, part 2, in the next video.